Darkcast Network. Welcome to the dark side of podcasting.
Devil is on his way. Devil is on his way. Devil is on his way, motherfucker. The devil gonna make you pay. Fall to your knees. Devil is on his way. Fall to your knees. Devil gonna make you pay. Fall to your knees. Devil is on his way. Motherfucker, he's on his
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Mountain Murders.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, this is our first take. Can you tell?
Hey, how's it going, Dylan? How you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Great.
Come back from the top.
No, we're leaving it like that.
No.
We're leaving it. I want people to know what it's like to work with a fucking diva
I'm not a diva.
asshole.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, Diana Ross.
So anyway,
What are you? You're just pretty and mean?
I only want the passion fruit Tic Tacs in the bowl in the green room.
I'm Heather, by the way, and that's Dylan, and this is Mountain Murders.
Yeah.
Right.
This is our new opening.
Yay.
It's so cool.
So amazing. You got something to talk about?
I don't know.
Well, let's get into the case then.
Yeah, I do have stuff to talk about.
Like what? Well, since you're full of everything but conversation, Dylan, I have a very interesting bit of true crime news.
Nice.
Crime news.
What you got?
Well, detectives in South Carolina have made an arrest in a cold case that is about 25 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this shooting occurred on June 26th of 2001 after what was supposed to be like a small kind of chill get together, you know, just a little group of friends. And it ended up growing into this larger party. During the evening, investigators with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office said 3 unfamiliar men arrived and got into an argument with someone at the party. They were asked to leave. The men stopped the car in the driveway and fired at least one shot from inside the vehicle into this party. Authorities said the bullet traveled through a wall and hit a man in the shoulder before fatally striking a woman named Jennifer Lawson in the head.
My God.
So Lawson was a 29-year-old mother, just an innocent bystander who happened to be like in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Damn, what's up with this super bullet? Through a wall, through a man's shoulder, and then into someone's head?
Now, more than 24 years later, 55-year-old Andretti Mendez Goss faces multiple charges in connection with Lawson's death, including murder. The Anderson County Sheriff's Office said that Lawson's case was reopened over the past summer. Detectives went to work re-interviewing witnesses. They even crossed state lines to gather more evidence and identify additional witnesses. So they're really putting in the work. This led investigators to identify Goss as one of the 3 men involved in Lawson's death. So he's been arrested. He remains in the Anderson County Detention Center and was denied bond.
Damn.
Now, the case does remain as an active investigation, and they say more arrests could be possible.
So, I mean, what a dumb reason for any of this to happen, right? You crash a party, it sounds like. You argue or get into it with the people, and you're asked to leave. And then in a cowardly move, you fire a weapon from a car down the road.
Just take your ball and go home.
Just go home.
They don't want to play with you.
Yeah.
Leave.
It's over.
Why do you got to be like a little bitch? Let me get my gun and shoot somebody.
I don't understand these people that want to go outside the club in the parking lot and like shoot guns in the air and like scare everybody or any of that.
I just don't understand gun violence in general. Like if that's your go-to is to pull out a gun and shoot somebody, that lets me know that you have like a super low IQ and zero impulse control.
Yeah. Playing around with guns and anything other than defending your life or your loved ones, it's really dumb, like you said, and it makes no sense to me. I've never handled guns like that. I don't take them lightly. That's why I wouldn't fire a shot unless I had to, outside of a firing range or
Well,
shooting
it's
in the woods.
Senseless
Yeah.
gun violence. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know why people, that's their go-to. Back in the day, it used to be like, you got your ass kicked, you would just take the ass whooping and go home with your ego maybe a little bruised.
Yeah.
And that was it. But now it's like, and then I see this all the time, like, because we've been binge watching the first 48. We've gotten through like 20 seasons of the show, right?
Yeah.
And I've just noticed this like recurring pattern of someone will go to like a club or a party, they instigate the fight.
Right. They're being an asshole.
Right. They
all that.
start the fight, then they get their ass kicked, and their reaction is to go to the car, pull out a gun, and shoot the person who kicked their ass.
Right.
Instead of just taking the ass whooping, just take it like a fucking man, take it like a woman, and go home.
Well, a lot of times back in the day, you hear stories of people getting in fights in the parking lot and then, going inside and buying each other a beer. That kind of thing,
That doesn't happen today. Everybody's got like these little pussy egos. I don't know what it is, but it drives me crazy. It's just unnecessary.
And it'll never be about the guns themselves. It's about the people who decide to use them in these dumb ways.
And every time that I'm at a bar or club or live music or whatever, if I see anybody seemingly arguing or like they're about to get into some kind of fight, I mean, this is rare. I don't see this very often. I'll leave.
Yeah, we left a place it's a couple months ago, a place we go to often. It's quiet.
Our little dive bar.
Doesn't seem dangerous, but
No.
there's two drunk people arguing over something. We weren't even sure what. And we gave it a second, and they were not letting it go. They kept rumbling, even though they were separated, they were still grumbling. And I was like, no, I'm gone, son. Clear the tab, I'm gone. Because there's potential for drunk people to do something stupid.
Right, so don't go to parties and get drunk and start shooting into the house. Dylan, are you ready to get into today's case?
I am.
Speaking of senseless murders.
So is that what you have for us?
Oh, absolutely. So my resources for today's case, I watched an episode of Sins and Secrets. I watched an episode of Dateline, and I also read a bunch of news articles.
All right.
I did all this work for you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. You ready?
And for my part of my resources for today's case is Heather. And that's all I got.
Well, I mean, I think that's a given. Thad John Glenn Reynolds, was born on January 21st of 1968 in Rome, Georgia. Rome is a charming southern town with brick downtown buildings and wide streets, located about 70 miles northwest of Atlanta, near the Alabama border. It was built at the meeting point of three rivers, which shaped trade, industry, and the town itself. Founded in the 1830s, Rome was originally Cherokee Nation land before removal. It was considered a Confederate hub during the Civil War. Later, it became a textile and industrial town. Then, as we've seen time and time again, had that decline. It seems maybe to have stabilized, at this point, at the point of our story.
So they're able to bring in other industry to a degree and keep people working.
Due to the rolling hills, it is called the Seven Hills of Rome, after Rome, Italy, because why not?
So they got hills in Rome, Italy?
I've never been to Rome, Italy, but I'm assuming so.
All right.
Okay.
I've always wondered, I've heard of Rome, Georgia, over the years, various ways. I've always wondered, you'll have that, or you'll have a sister city in another country. Like if I'm not mistaken, Charlotte, North Carolina is named after something out of Russia.
I thought it was Queen Charlotte.
Maybe it's Queen
That's
Charlotte.
why it's called the Queen City.
Right. I mean, I don't make this stuff up.
What? Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You just pull stuff out of your ass. Look, I don't really know a whole lot about Italy. Okay, my limited knowledge of Italy comes from the National Lampoon's European Vacation movie.
Okay.
And Italian horror films.
Well, I learned a lot from the Italian Job, right?
There you go.
Action movie.
See, and then I've had a few meals at the Olive Garden.
And this is not to offend our Italian listeners.
I'm not cultured.
Italian.
I'm uncultured swine. Italian, that's what my dad calls it. You go get some of that Italian dressing. You laugh because you know it's true.
Yes, I know. I've been asked that very question.
You want Italian or ranch? That's the only two choices.
Yeah, don't dare suggest like a fire roasted tomato basil or whatever.
That's too exciting.
Yeah, it's too much.
You
A
can't have that.
vinaigrette, what?
Berry College is in Rome. Now, this is like a conservative Bible Belt kind of town. When people think of like Southern Bible Belt towns, Rome, Georgia, pretty good example of that. Growing up, Thad was a devout Christian. He attended a Baptist church. His father definitely put God first, then family, and then it was said football. This is kind of how it went in the Reynolds household. Thad was an incredible athlete, by the way. He played football and golf. He wrestled. He was an outdoorsman, camping, hiking, spending time in nature. At some point, Thad's parents divorced. His mother remarried and had a few more children. I don't know many details about this, but it does seem the divorce impacted Thad because, again, he grew up in this very religious household. So, his parents divorcing was quite a shock.
Yeah, and that religious aspect can really add a lot of difficulties to a divorce. You know what I mean? I mean, it makes it so much bigger than just the people, or you're not just, your parents having a divorce. It's like, I mean, if you start thinking that your very soul may be at stake in a situation like that, that has to add a level of anxiety, right?
While in high school, Thad met a girl from another local high school. This always kind of cracks me up, Dylan. When you grow up in like a small town, there's only usually like maybe one or two high schools. So like meeting someone from the other high school is like, ooh.
It's a big deal.
It's almost like taboo.
It's metropolitan.
Like, how dare you sleep with the enemy?
They're our rivals.
Well, where we lived, where we grew up, was a very much like a football town. There was a huge rivalry between the two high schools, so much that it makes like the USA Today's like top 10 high school rivalries.
Yeah.
Like famous rivalry.
And years ago, they one team or the other was always in the running to win state. So they had some really good teams.
Yeah, no, you're right. So it's just kind of funny because I remember, when like people would date someone from the other high, it's like, how dare you? You can't bleed black and yellow and date you a Pisgah bear. Anyway.
To this day, the rivalry game is a big deal.
No, it really is. So while in high school, Thad meets a girl. Her name is Michelle Sullins. Michelle was a pretty blonde, and by all accounts, with just one look, Thad was hooked. It was over for him.
He knew he had to get him some of that.
He knew she was the one. It was love at first sight. Like Thad, Michelle had also come from a broken home. She'd been very close with her father and was devastated when he passed away. She was only 13 at the time. As a daddy's girl, Michelle was heartbroken. Michelle was considered very popular, like she was voted homecoming queen. And Thad is this all-star high school athlete, like stand out on the football field. So you kind of got like this all-American couple, if you will. The football player, the homecoming queen.
Yeah.
Dating.
It's like something from a movie.
Right. So Thad and Michelle spent their first date doing a very southern thing, Dylan. Can you guess?
They went down to the Dairy Queen.
Close. They went to a tractor pull.
Oh.
If you're unfamiliar, it's a motorsport competition. Tractors and trucks compete to see who can pull weighted objects like a sled the farthest along a dirt track.
Look, and the farther they pull the sled, the heavier the sled gets.
That was my next line. The farther it goes, the heavier it becomes.
Okay.
Wow, Dylan. Eventually, the tractor stalls out, loses traction, or rears up, kind of like it's possessed. Now, this isn't farm equipment anymore. These are stock tractors. They're modified tractors. They've got like superchargers, jet turbines, multiple engines, flame shooting from stacks.
Yeah, it's more like a drag car at that point.
And some have like between 4,000 to 10,000 horsepower.
That's crazy.
It's unhinged but excellent. This family-friendly spectacle can be slightly feral. I mean, you got to think dirty diesel.
Loud noises.
Well, I mean, who doesn't like all that, right? You can probably get like a snow cone or like a cotton candy there.
Hooting and hollering.
There would be some hooting and hollering.
Probably some very about 47-degree beer on tap.
Oh, no, you'd have to probably bring it in your cooler box, I'm imagining.
Oh, it's BYOB.
Well, my tractor pool is.
Okay.
You're not classy enough to have taps at this. Okay, this is an awesome tractor pool, so you BYOB.
You ever had somebody offer you beer in a styrofoam cup? It's like the most god-awful thing ever. It makes it like bubble up. It's weird.
Yes.
It's not
I
good.
don't know why you're talking about that, but yes, Dylan, it's quite terrible.
I'm living in the moment. I'm at the tractor pool. I'm trying to get a cold beverage, and all they got styrofoam, but I'm going to drink it anyway.
You're at the imaginary tractor pool?
Yeah.
Just get a can of PBR out of my cooler, Dylan.
You got some out in the back of the truck.
If a tractor pool is your first date, you might be a redneck, and that's awesome. I mean, these are my peeps. So we've got this all-American couple. Like I said, football player, homecoming queen. They're in love. They're extra cute. They're like the couple. After graduating from high school in 1987, this, super couple got married. Now, they married only a few months after graduation, which was on August 15th of 1987, and they chose the 15th because it was Thad's football number. Now, I don't know if that's like sweet or kind of cheesy and immature. Maybe it's all of the above.
Well, it's sweet, and I'll tell you why I think it's sweet, because that number means a lot to him, and she let him have that, and she didn't mind that being her anniversary, and she did it for him.
Well, I see it as maybe this is a good reason why 18-year-olds just out of high school should maybe wait to get married.
Oh, you think so?
Possibly. Anyway,
who
am I to judge?
My football number was 00.
A lot of people marry their high school sweethearts.
So what day would we get married on?
You know what my basketball number was?
What?
31.
Okay.
Okay. The couple married at Hollywood Baptist Church. This church would play a major role in their lives and marriage. Thad took a job as a truck driver, and Michelle worked as an administrative assistant. So they didn't have any college goals. They just went straight to work, which, back in the 80s, you could totally do that and still manage to, have stuff, unlike today.
Well, I mean, you can do that now, but because, honestly, the college degree, it seems to me, has less value than it used to.
Well, it does seem that way right now.
Right.
But I'm just talking about in the 80s. I mean, you could just go from high school into a job and earn a living.
Well, yeah. The buying power of the dollar was better. The economy was it was easier.
Well, the first thing the couple wanted to do was buy a home. And I'm just saying, if you graduate from high school and get married, buying a home, like within just a few years of that marriage, is likely not going to happen.
No, but people used to do that all the time. It was like the next step, right?
Right.
A lot of people bought
that
their...
was kind of where I was going with that, but okay.
A lot of people bought their starter homes in their mid to late 20s.
Thad and Michelle dreamed of starting a family. This is a very responsible goal, if you ask me. Most young people are wasting money on, boba teas and weird little collectible bobbleheads, whatever those little things are.
Oh, there's pocket pongos. God, what is it? I just saw them.
I don't know. I don't know what they're called. But I'm old as dirt, and I'm spending my money on shoes and coffees. Well, actually, not anymore. I got an espresso machine, and now I make all my coffees at home.
Yeah.
I keep convincing myself I'm going to save money in the long term.
You were so excited. You waited and waited. They kept putting you off. We had bad weather, and you just could not. You were so looking forward.
My scheduled delivery was postponed like multiple times.
You were so looking forward. You done dropped the money on this thing, and it took forever to come, and you were so happy to get it.
And I've made lattes every day.
Yeah, you made me a double shot espresso right here at home.
I did.
I feel like
I even bought some little espresso cups for you so you could feel fancy. Like maybe you was in Italy.
I almost feel like we went up a tax bracket.
We didn't.
but I feel like it.
We absolutely did not. So by 1992, the couple has saved enough money to buy a home. That's only 5 years. In 5 years' time, they had enough money to buy a home. I mean, that's pretty awesome. They also welcomed their first child, a daughter named Olivia. Now, remember a time when a couple with minimal education and working class jobs could afford to save and buy a home? I mean, homes were once affordable.
It's true.
I looked it up, Dylan, and the average home price was like $120,000 in 1992. But I remember you could still find houses for like $35,000 and $40,000
Yeah.
in the early 90s. Dad was working for Frito-Lay Company at the time. After Olivia was born, they decided Michelle should stay home. He would be the sole provider for the family. I mean, again, this is a different time. Now most families need 2 incomes at least to just get by.
I mean, even when I purchased a home in the 2010s, it was common to find homes anywhere from 95 to 150.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
We were once a proper country, Dylan. That's all I'm going to say. Now, again, Thad and Michelle are into those traditional family values, which honestly, I think we need to bring back. As I've gotten older, I see the value of these types of relationships as long as both parties are committed to the marriage. But that's a story for another time.
Well, no, I agree with that. I think that's a strong family bonds really go a long way to help strengthen a relationship. I know that much. You know what I'm trying to say? Having a commitment to your relation and like, I don't know. It's like people take marriage, they don't take it seriously nowadays.
No.
You know, because it's not always it's work. You're going to have to work through things sometimes. If you look to be together for 30, 40 years, you know, you take an elderly couple who's been together. Gosh, I work with my boss at work. I think I asked him how long he'd been with his wife, and he said 53 years or something like that.
What?
I know, that's crazy, right? And but you know, that wasn't always good times. You know, they have some dirt in their past. If you knew all their history, and I'm sure they've been through things, hard times, good times. But it's that just having that commitment.
You mean like rich, poor, sickness, health?
All that
all
stuff.
Those vows?
Yeah, those
Yeah.
taking those vows seriously and knowing that you're willing to put the work in. Sometimes it's going to take compromise. Everything's not always going to be your exact way. You know, it's a give and a ebb and a flow, if you will. But if you're committed and you truly love that person, then you can make it work through most things. You know, unless you marry old slut.
Well, I did marry you.
I'm not a slut, and you need to quit telling our audience that I am.
You have a slutty body.
That's what you tell me.
So voluptuous.
I'll be looking in the mirror like, do I have a slutty body?
I bet you were overly developed at a young age.
Oh, it's true. I had boobs.
People were like,
early.
That boy's fast because he's got boobs.
That's why he's mannish.
Look how curvy he is.
Oh my gosh.
What?
You make me feel self-conscious. Should I put clothes on?
Look, I try to get you to put clothes on every time we podcast, but you just refuse.
My secret's out.
I can't make you.
I'm naked podcasting, y'all. I'm not.
Well,
I'm
I guess I
fully
look at
clothed.
this couple and I'm like, gosh, they're so young, but they're like making it happen, right?
Right.
Which is kind of cool because I think a lot of young people, like, we don't really know what we want. I mean, we think we do, but you don't really until you have some experience and get older, and then you realize what I wanted when I was 20 is not the same thing I wanted when I was 30.
Well, I didn't have a plan
40.
like that. They obviously have some kind of a plan. They're doing it together. I had no plan at all. I was just winging it. Clean through my 30s.
I feel, honey, you're winging it now.
Well, no, but I feel a little bit more responsible.
You do?
Maybe I'm forced to be that way. I don't know.
Well, I do kind of make you be an adult. Probably more than you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay. So it seems that Michelle was really into the idea of this like traditional family, but became disillusioned later on. She's got a husband, child, household, and that's a lot of work, and not everyone finds it fulfilling. You know, staying at home with a baby didn't make Michelle happy. She felt a little stuck and resented Thad. You know, he gets to go to work all day, socialize, he leaves the house while she's at home with a baby. And Michelle's also feeling neglected.
Now, I could see that happening, and there's also there's pros and cons to everything, and I do think when early on, when you're still rather young, you do get a mortgage, get a home. Now you got maintenance. You got to worry about the hot water heater, and those are kind of things that, in your young mind, you think that that's what older people have to worry about, But now you're having to deal with all these responsibilities, and it's easy to get lost in the sauce as far as you and your mate goes. You get lost in the daily grind, right?
Well, they now have different responsibilities. The honeymoon, that whole honeymoon phase is over. She and Thad aren't spending much alone time together. There's no romance. Thad is focused on working his way up from being a truck driver to another job within the company. Like, he wants to climb the ladder. He has his sights, set on building a career. The couple was also actively involved in church. And from what I can tell, their social circle revolved mostly around the church and church friends. Thad was interested in becoming a deacon. He spent a lot of free time volunteering for church activities. Thad had always put God first and was still doing that. His priorities had not changed. But Michelle was feeling neglected, and she wanted her husband to put her above all else.
She won't put God behind football.
So this is kind of where they're not, on the same page. Or maybe in the beginning she was like, yeah, that's kind of like those are my priorities as well. But then once she's actually like living that kind of life, it's not really what she thought it was going to be.
Well, and this happens a lot. You'll hear that. I've heard that one of the reasons that women cheat, and of course men cheat too, I'm not saying just women do, is they feel bored, right?
Well, they do say idle hands are the devil's plaything.
But, as bored as she feels.
So maybe idle hands are making her want to play with somebody else's thing.
Oh, well, maybe. But as bored as she feels with her being stuck in the house with the kid and all that.
I'm sure he's probably not like.
He has his feelings.
Getting up and going to work is awesome.
It kind of sucks.
And driving a truck, being in traffic, being in dangerous situations all day.
Having to deal with the politics of a workplace, especially if you care and you're trying to climb, have upward mobility. All that can be very taxing.
Well, that's where I think a lot of couples, and, maybe I'm speaking for Thad and Michelle here, but I think that's where a lot of couples kind of go wrong, is like only thinking of how they feel in a situation, but not really gauging what the other person is also going through or how they may feel.
Yeah, that's a very great point. That's a very great point.
Because while she's feeling like, well, I'm stuck at home and you're not being romantic with me, he's thinking like, I need to get a better paying position here. I need to secure my position so that I can take care of my wife and child, right?
And the problem with that is, while she's feeling, and this is all speculation, obviously, on our part, while she's feeling bored and all this at home and stuck, he may be feeling proud that he's able to, make enough money to where his wife can be a stay-at-home mom. So, it's such a tricky, it can be so.
Well, that's why marriage is like a give and take, right? I mean.
Right. And I think when you're really feeling that way, either of you, for whatever reason, if you're having these intense feelings that are developing over time, you got to talk about it. I mean, that's the number one thing.
You're welcome to our marriage counseling podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, just throw stuff. That's how you get their attention.
So, yeah. I took my advice from what was her name, Blue Cantrell. You spend all the cash and leave the bills unpaid about a month too late.
Oh, is that
we got to play these games.
That's how you get their attention.
Hit 'em up style.
Okay.
Yeah. Just go spend all this cash.
Well, it wouldn't take you long to spend my cash.
When it goes, then everything goes, from the crib to the cars and the clothes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a Y2K girl. Michelle had always drawn a lot of attention. I mean, she's really cute. She's got that whole girl next door appeal. And we all want our significant other to show interest in us. That doesn't change. from dating to marriage. Like, you always want your partner to find you appealing,
Right.
be sexually interested in you,
Yes.
that kind of thing.
Very important.
And so there needs to be some kind of compromise here, right? I mean, yes, Thad wants to spend a lot of time at church, but he also has a wife that's feeling quite neglected. So it seems like they kind of both need to figure out a way to be together, but also honor their, I guess, commitments to church.
Well, I personally think you should put your wife or husband first.
Well, yeah, but you're not religious.
Yeah, I know, but I thought that that's what God wanted.
Well, obviously God wants you to put him first.
Okay.
Right?
I guess.
mean, well, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought you, I don't know. I thought you put your wife or husband first.
Do we have to have like a discussion here, a biblical discussion?
No, I'm just saying.
Well, I think like as far as earthly priorities, right?
Right.
Like you would put God first, and then as far as earthly priorities, you would put your spouse first, meaning like you would put your spouse over your parent, your child,
right.
the neighbor down the street, whatever.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna take you to Bible school or something. Eventually, Michelle suggests divorce. Now, Thad does not believe in divorce, not only because of his religious beliefs, but also because, his parents divorced, and it was very tough for him, and he doesn't want Olivia to experience a broken home. Michelle has expressed dissatisfaction to their pastor, saying that Thad doesn't put her on a pedestal. And she's comparing their marriage to others. Like, she sees, the pastor and his wife, and she thinks she knows their marriage because they seem to be like, it's easy to, from the outside, to be like, oh, well, they have a better marriage than we have, or they seem happier.
Right.
But you don't really, you're not in that marriage, so you don't really know. But she's kind of like seeing all these other people at church, and she's comparing her marriage to their marriage. So, of course, she, goes to the pastor. She's like telling him, I'm not number one. And the pastor tells her, you should put God first.
All right.
Like your husband, you should put God first. But Michelle disagrees. She sees other marriages within the church and thinks like people seem to prioritize their partners in a way that her husband doesn't.
So it's one of two things. Either she is not getting what she wants out of the relationship, or she's self-absorbed and thinks she deserves more than, you know what I mean?
Oh, you're about to find out.
Okay.
Is she self-absorbed? Well, we'll see about that. Now, I don't know what's going on here. I think a lot of times being unhappy in a marriage isn't always about the relationship, but often people being unhappy with themselves.
Right.
I'm not saying Michelle is wrong. I mean, her feelings are valid. But from the outside, I mean, it seems they have a good marriage. She's got a very faithful, godly husband. He works hard. They own a home. They have a beautiful child. I mean, she's not struggling like a single mother out there. A lot of women would love to stay home with their children, but can't afford to do so. And a lot of women would look at this marriage and the situation and be like, you've got it made. Like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously she's having these feelings and strong enough to suggest divorce.
I like how you play devil's advocate.
To her husband, and him just being like, well, I don't believe in divorce. I mean, that's not going to fix it, bro. Maybe you could do more. Maybe you could spend less time. I mean, because putting God first is one thing, but let's be honest, a big part of church, and I think it's great. I sometimes wish I had it. Maybe I'll seek it out. The community and the social networking wrapped around the church, which is a good thing for many people. But, maybe he is spending too much time doing those things.
Well, it's hard to know what's going on in any marriage, but by all accounts, everybody says Thad absolutely adores Michelle.
Okay.
Thinks she walks on water, just like sings her praises all the time. And he's a real stand-up guy and happens to take his church responsibilities very seriously. In research, it does mention accusations of cheating by both. I think these are just kind of when they get in a spat, she accuses him of cheating. Like, well, you're not paying attention to me. You must be cheating. And then he's like, well, you seem unhappy. Maybe you're the one that's cheating and you're using this as an excuse or whatever, So
Right.
just back and forth. I don't know, like, if someone was cheating
There's
or not
no
cheating.
evidence up to this point of anyone cheating.
Well, by the time 1993 rolls around, the couple has officially, called it quits. And it is said that Thad struggles with the separation and then this divorce that comes.
Well, see, one thing about it is he can do better than his parents did. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. Divorce is really hard on kids, especially depending on what age the children are, it seems. And their relationship with their parents, that can, if you don't have a good relationship with your parents, you might not really care. But, if you do have a strong relationship and then all of a sudden you're not able to be around one or the other parent enough or all the time, that's going to affect you strongly. But, you can try your hardest to make it more amicable and less stressful on your child.
Right. I mean, it really is kind of like what you make it.
Right. Just because your experience was negative, you can do everything you can to make it easier.
Yeah. I mean, I
on
think
your
it
child.
takes like a big person to be able to put their feelings aside to think of the children and
What's best for the children.
Exactly. And a lot of times people want to use their children as pawns and emotionally manipulate and that kind of stuff. And, those are people who are not really thinking about their kids. They're thinking about themselves. I think it's
Right.
really selfish to put kids in the middle like that.
It is.
And I say that as a child of divorce who was in a very dysfunctional situation. All right, so this hits him particularly hard. Thad's mother, Kitty, said this was the lowest point in her son's life. She had never seen him like this. Michelle, on the other hand, not so much. She's living La Vida Loca.
Well, and that shows you that this is something she wanted and he did not want it.
Well, during this time of hardship, Thad leaned heavily on his church family. One time, Thad called his mother while crying in a fetal position, like he was begging God to please bring his wife back.
Okay.
Just all to pieces. Meanwhile, Michelle is still attending Hollywood Baptist Church. So Thad's emotional turmoil is being exacerbated by seeing his ex-wife at church each week, which I find that to be a little odd.
That she's still going there?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's her church too.
I mean,
Or
yeah.
did she even care about the church?
Well,
You think
that's
she's
the thing is it doesn't seem like she really cares about the church, but now all of a sudden she's like,
it's a thumb in his eye.
she really wants to be at this church. And you know what? Michelle is finally getting what she wants. Thad's attention.
Oh, that's funny how that works.
Trying to give their child a sense of normalcy, Thad and Michelle are spending time together. They go on family vacations together, which seems kind of unhealthy, in my opinion. And they celebrate holidays together.
Kids are tuning forks, and they totally pick up on vibes. And I think that unless you truly are okay with each other in an emotionally healthy state, hanging out a lot together is going to be weird. And the kid's going to pick up on that.
It seems Michelle's feelings start to warm up again because Thad is paying attention to her and she's getting what she wants. In 1997, the couple decides to remarry.
I've never understood this. Have you ever understood this? The people that's got married, divorced, and got back together?
No, I don't ever want to get back together with my ex-husband.
Well, I'm
ever.
saying.
Never. You couldn't pay me.
Well, if you've gone all the way down, I mean, I guess maybe if you get older and you mature and you were together young like they were, maybe you think we'll have a better shot at it this time.
If I get rid of you, I'm never getting suckered back into this again. I'll tell you that much.
Well, you ain't going to get rid of me.
I know. I know that.
I showed up with trash bags
You did.
and I ain't leaving.
You showed up on my doorstep. I called poor and broken, and I had to take you in like a little wounded bird.
It's a big,
Wrap up your little wing and
a
stuff.
big sassy bird. And look what I've turned into.
Oh gosh.
I'm molted. That's right. peacocking all around the living room.
You are like a little banny rooster.
No
running
clothes
around with
on.
your chest out. They host a second wedding at Hollywood Baptist Church. Dad and Michelle build a house on his mother's property.
Oh, okay.
Like a bigger, nicer house.
Yeah, and get closer to his mom.
So things are, I mean, everybody wants to live in their mother-in-law's backyard.
Well, yeah.
I love your mom.
Yeah.
I would live in her backyard.
I'd live in my mama's backyard.
I would live in a tent on your mom's backyard.
I'd live in a tent on my mom's property.
She doesn't really have room for anybody to build a house back there.
No, it's just a little house.
It is little. But again, Michelle starts feeling underappreciated and like she's putting in all the work.
Oh, no. How did this happen?
It's almost like doing the same things over and over and over again are going to get the exact same results.
Yep.
Yeah. Some members of Michelle's family stated they thought she was less invested in the second marriage to Thad.
She didn't sound that invested in the first one.
Instead of marrying Thad for love, it was more like a marriage of opportunity because we all know being a single parent is hard. You're working, you're paying bills, tending to house. And her family says Michelle kind of saw it like, we're going to get this brand new home. I'll have my children. He's going to provide for us. And then I can just kind of do what I want.
Well, yeah, because it turns out that boring life that she was fed up with is actually, like you said earlier, many people would love to be in that position. Financially stable, thing taken care of. Now you're playing your part. See, me and you were talking about this. It's like people don't want to hold up their ends of the bargain, right?
Right.
Because if you have, this isn't just a man.
Look,
No
social
matter-
media, I feel like has ruined a lot of people's like interpretation of what a relationship's supposed to be or expectations. Because
Right.
I see a lot of women like, I won't date a man unless he makes six figures.
He's 6'2".
He's got to be 6'2".
Athletic.
Yeah, like this very tall order of like what a man's supposed to bring to the relationship. But then it's like, well, what are you bringing to the, it's like this expectation that he's going to pay for all these things for her. And she doesn't really have to bring anything. I mean, she's never talking about like what she's bringing to the relationship. It's just what he's bringing, and she knows her worth.
Right.
And I just find that very strange.
Well, no, it's like when I hear someone complains, and this is for the man or a woman, whoever's the breadwinner, they're gone all the time working. They work long hours. They're not around the kids. Well, one thing you could do is get some part-time work to help ease the financial burden, and then
Especially if your kids are in school.
and then they could stay at home, be at home around the kids and involved in the kids' lives more, without stressing about making all the bills. I mean, it's like if you're keeping a house, it's work. It's 24/7 work. There's no doubt about it. If you're actually doing the work. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're keeping the house clean, you're
house.
caught up on the laundry.
You're cooking dinner every night.
You're making dinner instead of just the kids are on no schedule. They run around. They're little terrors because kids need structure. You're giving them no structure.
They crave structure.
You just lay around. You sleep late. The kids drive you crazy all day because, again, they don't have any structure, whatever. You're too busy, like, telling them to get out of this and don't do that to get any work done in the house.
Parenting from the couch.
And then, you're on your phone, you're parenting from the couch, and then, it's you text your husband to like bring home fast
Takeout.
food because you don't cook.
Right.
And, and he's worked all day, but now he has to go like
Drop $50-$60 on
Dinner.
fast food, dinner, or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're just so tired
Yes.
because you've worked so hard all day.
At not cleaning the house and all that. And maybe I'm being really judgy, but just, again, social media, seeing how people, their expectations versus reality.
And
is
I
just
don't
like,
mean-
what are you doing?
I'm not casting judgment on anyone, but you'll see the extreme examples of that.
Well, I am being judgy because I'm just like, what the
Well, I'm
fuck?
saying you'll see the extreme examples of that. Like, I don't know. But it's a two-way street. As much as it sucks being at home and bored and all that and having all, but
You're at home and you're bored? Well, then clean your fucking house. Like, I'm at home and I find projects to do all the time.
Right.
Those walls ain't going to wipe down themselves. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's just stuff you don't want to do.
Well, yeah, but you're not a person that sits around. You don't like sitting around.
No, I can't stand
If I get you to
Look, the highlight of my week is I bought a steam mop. And I had a steam mop before, and I bought a new steam mop, and I could not wait to come home and sanitize my floors.
Yeah. You took it straight out of the box.
I was so excited.
And started
It
steaming.
was like Christmas because I like to clean things.
Okay, we'll get off our soapboxes.
No, I'm getting back on it.
Back to the
This
story.
is soapbox hour for Heather.
So here she is, the second go around, feeling the same way.
Yeah, but now she's kind of realized like the benefit of being married to him because it like benefits her financially.
Oh,
And
okay.
she's getting like what she wants as far as like this nice new house. And Thad, Michelle agreed, was a great provider. I mean, he worked really hard to take care of his family and make sure that, like, they wanted for nothing. And I don't know if that means like, you know, they had whatever, you know, they got whatever they wanted all the time, but it sounds like he was a good provider. And
Well,
then if Michelle wanted new things, it wasn't like, oh, you can't do that. It's not in our budget.
Hey, I think a nice clean home, newer vehicles that don't break down, decent clothes and things like that, food in a refrigerator, I think that's doing a pretty damn good job personally of providing for your family.
I'm a simple gal.
Because that is, a lot of people, some people don't have that grown up, and that's all they would want, a home they're not ashamed to bring friends over to. That's not all beat out of hell or falling down around them.
Or gross.
Or
And
or
hoarder.
old or
Piled up.
some, super cheap rental because that's all the people can afford, or, clunker cars
You got the roaches.
that a 16-year-old wouldn't drive, never go out of county
Oh my gosh.
because your car sucks.
Why I feel like this is a autobiography.
Oh, no.
Okay, let's move along. So Thad is promoted to district manager with Frito-Lay, and he's making more money than ever. He and Michelle decide to expand their family with 3 more daughters. Because that's what you really, when you're miserable in a marriage, adding children is just the thing you need.
So wait a second. They had the one,
Mm-hmm.
and then they got back together and remarried, and they had 3 more?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Thad's schedule also adapted so that he could spend more time with his family. He was able to go into work very early at like 4 a.m., and that meant he would be home in the early afternoon, so he had plenty of time with his girls. Michelle and Thad make the decision to homeschool their 4 children, and I'm not sure if this is a great idea since Michelle previously had problems being a stay-at-home mom, and now she has 4 kids and is responsible for their education.
Well, maybe she's rededicated herself to her family.
Maybe she has, Dylan.
Or maybe now she don't have to get up and take them to school.
We will see. Michelle and Thad continue to be active at church. Thad is a volunteer deacon. He sings in the choir and helps provide marital counseling to other couples. Michelle begins working as the youth pageant director. So she's producing shows and skits. She's choreographing dance routines.
I'll be like, how
She's
you gonna,
got the jazz hands. She's like Jesus has jazz hands.
how
and
you gonna
stuff.
tell me about my marriage, Thad, when you're on your second marriage with the same woman?
Well, that's why he thinks he's
I'll be talking
equipped.
shit to him. I'll be like, you ain't equipped for shit,
That's
dog.
why he thinks he's equipped, because he's been through it.
Now go get my corn chips, ho.
What?
Because he works at Frito-Lay.
Oh,
Damn.
all
And
right.
some of that bean dip, biatch.
So, will you please stop? She and Thad are actively participating in these little plays and skits.
Okay.
While people at church praise Thad, many young people look up to him as almost like a father figure or a mentor. Others felt that Michelle was a bit manipulative. She had a way of getting people to do things by making them think it was their idea.
That's called delegating.
It was a powerful skill that Michelle possessed, but it did not go unnoticed. I mean, there are several people in the church who are like, yeah, she's kind of manipulative. Like, she doesn't seem genuine
So am I to gather
in
that
her behavior.
overall people liked Thad more than they liked her?
I think so. I think if there was like a popularity contest,
Right.
I think Thad would win the popularity contest. Meanwhile, this second go around at love made Thad truly happy. He has a growing family, the woman he loves, and they're both putting God first. You know, church is, pretty central part of their lives, and now Michelle's participating. So he thinks like, this is great. I have it all, have everything I want. During this time, Thad and Michelle have become friends with another couple named Scott and Paige Harper. Scott was a veteran. He was really fit and popular at church. A lot of the young men and boys look up to him as well, like they do Thad. Paige is also really well liked. I mean, she's cute and sweet. They're both active at the church. So it's kind of like they are a perfect counterpart to Michelle and Thad.
Okay.
Right? And it didn't take long for Scott and Thad to hit it off. These guys were kind of like instantly best friends. They had so much in common as far as faith and family. The pair were members of a men's prayer group. Scott will say that Thad was a role model for everyone, including himself. Paige and Michelle grew close. Paige considered Michelle to be like a sister. They spent a lot of time together, like outside of church, their families, because the Harpers also had 3 little girls. So that's like a gaggle of little girls when the families were together.
Oh, I bet.
7 girls.
That's a lot of little girls.
It is. You have a lot of little girls in your family.
I do.
Yeah. Got a whole gaggle of granddaughters.
3 granddaughters.
Michelle didn't feel the same about Paige. While Paige felt like we're really close and we're best friends, just as close as 2 friends could be, she's my sister, Michelle thought Paige was jealous of her.
Is she a narcissist? Or just a bitch? I mean, I'm sorry.
I mean,
I try not to use that word, but
aren't most narcissist bitches?
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, calm down, bro. Did you peak in high school?
I'm so pretty. Everybody like really, really wants to be me. They're so jealous.
She has to put
I've
her,
always found people like this to be very amusing.
she puts her contour first.
Okay, so we've got Michelle, who needs a lot of attention. She's manipulative, and she's one of those women who think other women are jealous of her, because she's so pretty. In my mind, Michelle is full of herself and has this inflated sense of ego, right? Scott also told Michelle that Paige was always comparing herself to Michelle, which reinforces Michelle's feelings that like somehow she's better than Paige.
So people who claim to have these thoughts are actually just covering up their own insecurities, is what I think.
They're really truly narcissists,
Right.
and they think I am.
They think that anyone.
I am God's gift to the world.
You think like people sit around their house, thinking about you? I mean, come on,
Yeah.
dude.
You wouldn't know because you're not really, really pretty, Dylan. Now, at some point, Michelle is feeling bored again with the situation. I mean, it sounds like she's kind of been bored from the beginning of this marriage, from the second go around.
Yeah, it sounds like she just got back into it because it was easier for her.
But, now she's like back into those feelings of like, I'm really miserable. I don't like this. I don't want to do this anymore.
I thought these other 3 kids would make my life easier.
Right. Instead of a divorce, she begs Thad for a change, like a change of scenery. Like, let's move. Let's leave Rome.
Let's move out of this new house we built on your mom's property.
Well, they spent time vacationing in the Great Smoky Mountains, Gatlinburg. Of course they did. And Michelle asks if they can move permanently to Gatlinburg.
Oh.
I know.
I mean, that's nothing against Gatlinburg, but that's just
well,
not somewhere you want to live all the time. Unless you're born there. And look, I lived in Pigeon Forge. And it's tough.
I'm just saying, of all the places in the world you could move.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's tough to be a local.
I'm judgy to be like, you gonna move to Gatlinburg?
Well, it's just tough to be a local around a place like that because of all the tourist activity.
Well, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna go to Dollywood every day? You gonna go ride the like jungle ride or what? I mean, come on, dude. Are you an adult? I mean, what are you gonna do there?
There's even less to do in Gatlinburg. Besides
I'm not,
going,
I know. You're going to go through the haunted house every day?
go to the shops.
Get some fudge? I mean, I don't know. I just find this to be comical.
You go to the beef jerky store.
I guess, well, think of all the fudge and tourists, Dylan. We're missing out. Now, Thad wasn't as keen on moving away because he was born in Rome. He has roots in this community. It's the only home he's ever known. And that is like, why move? Like, everything we want and need is right here. We have a beautiful home.
Was he supposed to give up his job? He's
Right.
worked for years to climb.
Exactly.
I mean, district manager is pretty far up in management.
Thad goes on a missionary trip to Cuba, and when he returns, Thad tells Michelle that he's had a revelation. Now, Michelle is probably hoping for something really exciting like, you're going to move me to Gatlinburg, ain't you?
God said from the bush,
But,
move to Gatlinburg.
but, okay. Now you're just being blasphemous.
Well, I'm not. I know what. You should move to Sevierville. It's just outside Gatlinburg.
Still got the same traffic.
But none of the Gatlinburg.
Okay. So Thad tells her that he wants to become a full-time pastor at Hollywood Baptist Church.
Oh, okay. Now, this is probably what she was hoping for.
Well, this is when things really start to crumble. Seeing Michelle's growing unhappiness, Thad turns to his friend Scott for marital advice. Now, he walks away from this conversation wondering if Scott is in love with his wife.
Oh,
Because
shit.
instead of seeing Thad's point of view, Scott tells him how beautiful and wonderful Michelle is, that she's absolutely the perfect woman. You would be a fool to let her go. I mean, it's one thing for a friend to say, like, you have a good wife, but it's another for your friend to just be, like, gushing over her.
Yeah, dude, she's got a fat rack, and you'd be stupid to let her back out in the wild. You know what I'm saying?
Is
You know how many tomcats is going to be climbing her legs?
That's how you talk about your friend's wife?
No. I'm just saying, it sounds like this is how Scott's talking about his wife.
I imagine this is how you talk about your friend's wife, the wife that's illiterate.
What wife is illiterate?
You know when we played the board game and she couldn't read any of the cards? I shouldn't be.
My FYP's getting too local. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So, he's kind of blown away by this. Like,
Damn, bro, you hot for my wife?
right. I mean, this would make a lot of spouses and partners uncomfortable. And Thad's definitely not sure that
Well,
he
look,
likes this.
Here's the thing. He considers Scott his good friend, best friend even, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think what he expected from that conversation is advice, maybe support as far as what he's dealing with or, you know, things he's thinking about, trying to make decisions on. And instead, the dude's just carrying on and on about what a smoke show his wife is the whole time. That would strike me as odd, and I think it would anybody. I mean, what would you do?
I've seen her body in a pair of Sunday slacks.
I tell you, the way that polyester drapes over her,
You can see that floral dress? I've seen it too.
that big hat.
Makes me bloom in my pants.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Not a pants
Okay,
blooming.
we really have to stop. Okay, so on top of that, Michelle says Paige is jealous of her, right? So we've got Thad a little uncomfortable with what his friend is saying, and then we have Michelle over here like, Scott's wife is so jealous of me. I'm so pretty. She's so jealous of me, right?
Oh, my God. I bet she probably like goes and gets Stanley Cups and shit.
Oh, we might have listeners who go get Stanley Cups, Dylan.
Yeah, but they're not Michelle. Michelle's an asshole.
You're just
An asshole.
Well, I know you have an issue with those people who have like 50 of them.
Well, look.
You just feel like it's excessive. I get it.
It's the same cup. You don't need but one of them. I mean, my God. They're stout cups.
Well, Dylan, you know, you've had a pack of cigarettes, and it's the same pack of cigarettes you've been having. So, see how that works?
It's a perishable good.
The friendship seems to be heading into a weird place, like not only for Scott and Thad, but for Michelle and Paige. Thad thinks Scott has this ulterior motive, and we've got Michelle convinced that Paige is super jealous of her. Paige seems to be oblivious to Michelle's like catty, petty girl BS.
Oh.
Scott is drooling over his friend's wife. I mean,
I bet their dinners are weird and
This
awkward.
is like the plot to some weird porno.
I bet you can see them at the Golden Crab. Like, what's going on with those two couples over there?
But they continue keeping things as usual, right? Even though this is all very strange. Until they take a rafting trip together, the families. The entire trip, Michelle and Scott are being openly flirty. And Paige and Thad are like, what's going on?
Scott's like, that river's so lucky, man. It's in her pants. That water's... I'm jealous of that water, man.
The whole trip, Scott and Michelle are finding excuses to spend alone time together.
Hold up, dude. There ain't no way. I would have to buck up if I was Thad. Or Paige, but it sounds like Paige is looking up at the butterflies or something.
What? You're like so not jealous.
What, dude? Yeah, no, hold up now.
You would send me to go pick up fence materials with your best friend. I'd be alone with him in another state like the whole day. And you just like, yeah, go on.
Well, I knew he'd never come to me talking about, man, your wife's a smoke show. You'd be a fool if you ever left that.
But you know he's got like way better credit than you, so, I mean.
Hey, you know, if it can get us some cards that don't decline, I'm all for it. No, but look, I'm just saying, at a certain point, you would not stand for this. Would you?
For you and my best friend to be like trying
somebody
to be alone together?
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, we've talked about this before. I'm fairly confident that my best friend doesn't want you. And if you had her, you would just tote her around in like your arm. Remember we talked about this? Because she's like the tiniest thing.
She is little.
You would just like pick her up and carry her around.
And plus, she has a man. She doesn't want me.
Yeah.
And I don't want her, no offense.
Well,
She's a great person.
She's got, see?
Yeah.
Okay, now what? No, what was
See, why you have to make it weird?
What was you even talking about? Gosh, see, you distract me with your nonsense.
You're not going to stand for someone openly flirting. Well, I wouldn't stand for that. I mean, Thad, is he just like, well, that's weird.
You openly flirt with your eyes at women all the time.
You're this is bullshit. Don't even start that mess. I'm just saying, who in the world is going to stand idly by while people do this in their face like this?
Maybe people who are into it.
Oh, he's a cuck?
Maybe that's why they got the cuck chair in the hotel room, right? Okay, anyway, back to this. Since Scott works with youth boys and Michelle works with youth girls, they have been spending time together with these little plays and pageants, etc. Paige asks her husband to limit his time in contact with Michelle, like after this trip.
So even Paige has noticed now, huh?
Yeah, now she's kind of uncomfortable with her husband's relationship with Michelle.
Well, you know she's been very jealous of Michelle this whole time.
Right. Now, this doesn't seem like an outrageous request as far as I'm concerned. I mean, we've never really tackled this issue in our marriage, but if your spouse is saying to you, like, I don't really like you having a lot of communication with this other woman, like your work wife or whatever, as a spouse, you should honor that, right?
Well,
respect your partner's feelings.
You should never done it in the first place. Develop this strong relationship with the work wife or anybody. It's not right. It's not okay to have all these inside jokes and yucking it up with someone of the opposite sex like that. I think it's wrong in any capacity.
Well, I've seen you take pictures of your thighs and send them to your work wife.
You're a damn lie. I don't have a work wife.
You'll be like, how does my butt look in these jeans? Don't lie, Dylan. Now, Paige is feeling betrayed by this woman that she considers her sister. Like, how can you flirt with my husband? So that relationship cools pretty fast after this rafting trip. Now Paige is like, I don't think I want to be friends with you anymore.
But I do agree with you. Even if you don't see it or are not really out to do anything devious, if your spouse says, hey, this makes me uncomfortable, you should honor that for sure.
And on top of it, these people are supposedly living a Christian lifestyle with certain values. Scott is so involved in the church, yet has no problems coveting another man's wife. Maybe he needs to pray on it, because I'm pretty certain God doesn't send you the love of your life in the form of someone else's spouse. Going out on a limb here.
No, that's the devil's work.
Michelle isn't on the same page at all. After the rafting trip, she sent Scott a nasty email, Dylan, very sexual.
I mean, I don't get it.
She sent him a list of all the things that her hoo-ha wanted to do to his pee-pee.
What?
Instead of being shocked about it, Scott is all in. Like, he's only surprised because he's like, I can't believe my good luck. Her hoo-ha wants to be on my pee-pee. Yeah.
Damn, I wonder did she call it her hoo-ha, or was she filthy with it?
I'm sure she was filthy. We're keeping it G-rated.
My love mouth.
It's her.
Just wants to climb that tree.
I want your hot rod.
Yeah, hot rod.
I want your big old wiener schnitzel.
Yeah. I want to make my deductible afterwards. Just totally wreck my shit.
Got some sauerkraut for your big wiener. Okay.
Damn.
Now, well, I don't know.
My sausage.
Yeah. Okay, please don't say that again.
Yeah, I can't say sausage.
Yeah. Totally grossed me out. Super hot church MILF Michelle wants me. I mean, that's like his whole thing. So he's like, whoa, boner alert.
What is wrong with Scott?
He's not thinking with his brain or his biblical teachings. Now, the two began a sexting relationship through email. I mean, I guess that's sexting. I don't know.
Well,
They're having email sex. They're cyber sexing.
So, I mean, they just don't seem very religious to me. Like, I think maybe Paige and Thad are more religious than these two because they're not, this doesn't seem to bother them.
Well, you know, there's hypocrites everywhere, and that includes in churches, Dylan.
Oh, no, it's true.
Now, to add another layer of like, what the fuck to this, they add scripture to the end of every email. So after she's like, I can't wait to climb on your face, she's like, John 3:16.
For God so loved the world.
Yes.
He sent my hoo-ha to taste your pee-pee.
Yes. All the while, the foursome is still hanging out, kind of pretending like everything is cool. They even plan a camping trip for their families.
Shut up.
I mean, these 7 kids who could potentially have their lives destroyed. I mean, remember those kids? Scott and Michelle don't seem to be thinking about those kids. While on this trip, Michelle attempts to seduce her husband. So she's trying to get up on Thad, and he rejects her. Now, this only fuels Michelle's desire to seek validation and sex from Scott. But her husband's like, bro, we're on a camping trip. We're in tents next to our kids.
Right.
You're not going to ride the bone pony. Okay? No matter how many quarters you have.
I don't care what it says in Matthew 3:9.
Is Matthew?
I don't know. Is that a book?
Yeah, it is.
All I've read is the Book of Enoch.
It's not even in the Bible, bro.
They took it out.
Yes, I know. I have seen the History Channel, Dylan. Now, a few days after they return from this camping trip, Michelle and Scott have sex in his car.
Oh, that's a really romantic place to do it.
This happens in May, so throughout June, the couples are still hanging out like everything's not weird as fuck, even though it is. That same month, there's a youth retreat in Alabama. Now, Michelle and Paige are set to share a room together. And at the last minute, Michelle tells Paige, like, I'm going to get my own room. I don't want to stay with you.
Okay.
Michelle and Paige are supposed to, like, chaperone the girls. And Scott and Thad are watching the boys on this trip. Well, Michelle and Scott use this opportunity to hook up again. Because now she's got a room of her own. They're
gross.
And you put those kids to bed and you come on over here. We're going to read Deuteronomy to each other.
Yeah.
Probably 69. Okay, so Paige has been feeling this icy draft. Michelle has distanced herself from Paige. And she's treating Paige in a way that, like, suggests Paige has done something wrong.
I think Thad and Paige should hook up.
But then Paige is also kind of like, you're being all weird with my husband and touchy-feely and flirty. But then you're treating me like I've done something wrong. I mean, so like poor Paige is just super confused. And on this trip, Michelle won't even look in Paige's direction.
Paige ought to go to her ass.
Well, when she's confronted, Michelle tells Paige, quote, I want to be around people who are on fire for God. And like, you're not. It's okay to laugh here.
You know,
you don't have a fire in your heart for Jesus.
And she's got a fire
and
somewhere.
I got a fire in my vagina for your husband, so I can't be friends with you.
You know, the people who do act like this, which is very trashy and terrible, hateful, everything, all those words describe this kind of behavior. Don't care about any of the kids involved. Don't care about their spouses, the other person's spouses. But then still claim to be religious and like doing your big part for the church. It's really disgusting. The people who do act like this and at the same time drape themselves in, you know, in religion and God. I mean, it's really sick, I think.
Okay.
Don't you think it adds like another layer of grossness to the whole thing?
I absolutely do. Now, the affair is pretty hot and heavy. And in these emails, Michelle and Scott refer to their spouses as gnats. Like, they're so annoying, always buzzing around. That leads to expressing a desire to kill the gnats. Michelle jokes that she could lace Thad's food with extra butter so he has a heart attack. She's so clever. In another email, she suggests they have a spaghetti dinner, but they make a poisonous sauce for Thad and Paige. They discuss leaving everything behind and running away together to Portland, Oregon, where they've never been.
They're going to go live on the street?
I don't know, baby. Scott is proposing marriage in these email messages. He's telling Michelle, like, I think Paige will divorce me. Interestingly enough, they never speak on logistics of having these 7 kids. Like, are you going to run away to Portland and take the 7 kids?
I don't think they want the kids.
I don't think they want the kids either. Yeah, Michelle says there's no way Thad will divorce her a second time because after the first divorce, his life fell apart. Now they have more kids. She kind of hints around that like the only way they're going to be together is if Thad's not in the picture. Like hint, hint. Remember Michelle is a manipulator?
Yeah.
And she always wants people to think it's their idea.
And Scott sounds kind of dumb.
Yeah. Now, after some back and forth with Michelle even like insinuating that Thad might harm her if divorce comes up, he's never been abusive. There's been no domestic violence in this marriage. But now she's kind of hinting like, oh, he would beat me up or he would throw me down the stairs. Some BS.
He needs to throw her down the damn stairs.
Well, now Scott is considering like getting rid of Thad. He began stalking him. Michelle starts feeding Scott information about her husband's schedule, like where he's going to be and at what time, where you can find him.
These people that just so easily get on board with killing someone, every time we tell a story like this, it just blows me away. That people act like it's no big deal to murder someone.
Right. Well, Scott goes from being in Michelle's bush to like hiding in the bush watching Michelle's husband. So on Thursday, July 1st of 2004, Scott purchases a hunting knife from a Kmart store. The following day, Scott follows Thad to a restaurant and he waits in the parking lot for Thad to exit, but then he like freaks out and leaves before like confronting him or whatever.
Holy shit, dude. I think I know where this is going.
You do?
Yeah. No, go ahead. I think, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you do know where it's going because it's a true crime podcast.
No, but I think
we discuss murder.
I might know this case.
Wow, look at you. Michelle and Scott meet up to discuss a plan. Now, at this meeting, Michelle gives him an ultimatum. She's like, if you're not going to confront Thad and tell him about our affair, I'm just going to go ahead and make it work with my husband and our affair will be over.
Okay.
Now, Michelle has denied that this plan is to kill Thad. She says, like, I only wanted Scott to confront Thad, admit that we're having this affair, and tell Thad, like, let Michelle go.
Right.
She's in love with me.
Let my people go.
The girl is mine. Like,
So that's what
Monica and Brandy.
that's what the puppet master always says in these cases.
Yeah.
I thought they were kidding, or I didn't think they were I didn't take it seriously, knowing damn well they're the only reason it happened.
Now, okay, so she's giving him this ultimatum or whatever, and then she's telling him, like, Thad's going to take me on a date on this particular night. Scott felt Michelle was trying to make him jealous. She absolutely was.
With her husband.
With her husband. I'm cheating on you with my husband. Now, that evening, Michelle and Thad get his mother to watch their girls. They're supposed to go out to a nice dinner, at least in Michelle's mind, but Thad brings her to a prayer meeting. Michelle is beyond angry because the last thing she wants to do on this date night is go to church. Now, during this meeting, Thad apparently told other members to pray for him that he was not being a good husband to Michelle and that she was unhappy.
Okay. I think he's too nice of a guy.
Michelle is outraged. Like, she did not want Thad telling their business to these people. If he had a problem or was feeling some type of way, he should have a private conversation with his wife. And I get that. I mean, you're married to Michelle, not everybody at the prayer meeting, right?
Well, no, I mean, I understand her point on that. But, I mean...
But she's been throwing her ass in Scott's prayer circle for like a minute, so I don't know.
Well, let's be honest. It's just she's embarrassed, and it's not about their relationship or any of that, because she obviously doesn't care about their relationship.
Then the families decide they're going to spend 4th of July together. They watch fireworks, they go to church, they attend a picnic at the park. Paige notices Michelle seems to be flirting with other men at the picnic. Michelle is also wearing this type of like tank top or some kind of skimpy top that Paige felt was inappropriate for a church event.
So now Paige is sitting back watching Michelle try to make Scott, Paige's husband, jealous.
Yes.
In her slut shirt.
In her halter top or tube top or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe she's just wearing pasties. I don't know.
I mean, what are we doing here?
Monday after this holiday carries on as normal. Thad is back to work at Frito-Lay. Just after 4 a.m., a driver pulls into the distribution center, and he notices a man that he doesn't recognize leaving the office in a hurry. The man crosses the parking lot and gets into a burgundy minivan. He watches this guy like take his shirt off as he's climbing into the van, and then he speeds away. Now, the driver finds this to be unusual.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got to say, having worked in factories and things like that, at a freight place now, which would be similar to distribution, like Frito-Lay place, you notice people that don't belong there.
Well, and you notice people like getting undressed in the parking lot.
When you notice people
at 4 a.m. Because I would think, like, why is this guy taking his shirt off?
Right, and rushing out of a place. Oh, it's 4 a.m.?
Yeah.
So that's even more strange of a time to see someone that's not someone you work with every day.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you don't see somebody undress in a parking lot every day, right? So when the driver enters the office, he's floored. Thad Reynolds was slumped over in the floor, a pool of blood surrounding his body. So this driver calls 911. 36-year-old Thad Reynolds had been stabbed 19 times.
Damn.
He had many defensive wounds. There were signs of a struggle. Fortunately, investigators have an eyewitness. But the only problem is the driver didn't see the assailant's face. Investigators do find blood, which they think belongs to the attacker.
There's no CCTV at this place?
It doesn't seem to be, Dylan.
That's crazy.
But we do have some blood, and this is 2004, so there is DNA available, right? Testing. Now, it's a very messy scene. Clearly, the person who murdered Thad had not been a professional because the killer was very sloppy, careless. It was obvious this was their first time.
Right.
Now, in the parking lot where the attacker had taken off his shirt, investigators find a pair of eyeglasses. They theorize the person had accidentally knocked their glasses off when removing that shirt. There is also a black sheath that fits a hunting knife. They find no evidence of a robbery, so that can't be the motive. And it appears that somebody specifically targeted Thad Reynolds. Law enforcement brings Scott Harper in to identify Thad's body.
No shit.
The pastor of Hollywood Baptist Church had been the person to call Scott first about Thad's death. Word has spread about this murder of Thad. Paige and Scott are both devastated and worried about Michelle and the kids. They rush over to the Reynolds household to be with Michelle and the children. However, they're kind of taken aback by Michelle's callous behavior. She does not seem to be concerned at all that her husband was just murdered. She's unfazed. Michelle told investigators she didn't want to know the details of her husband's murder. Like, I don't want to know anything about it.
That's like the first thing that people ask when their loved one's murdered. What happened? Who? Why? Where?
Well, later Michelle will claim that she had taken a Xanax and a sleeping pill, which is why she might have seemed out of it or cold.
That's not how those pills work.
However, someone who was at the house said Michelle made a comment like, well, now that Thad's dead, I can finally get a nose ring. Also, law enforcement had said their eyewitness saw the suspect fleeing in a burgundy minivan. Well, like, everybody at the house is talking about, well, Scott drives a burgundy minivan.
Shut up.
Yet nobody wanted to believe that Scott could be the killer.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a leap for anyone to make, honestly. You couldn't imagine someone's capable of, and this is a pretty brutal attack, let's be honest. Stabbing attack, 19 plus wounds. Attacking a man in a defenseless man in his office.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Now, it doesn't take long for a man named Scott Roberts to come forward. He tells police that Scott Harper drives a burgundy minivan, wears glasses, and has been exchanging steamy emails with a woman named Michelle.
How does he know about the emails?
Because he works with him. They both work in IT at the hospital.
So he's seen them. He's done seen them.
He has also overheard Scott Harper on the phone at work with this Michelle woman, and it definitely sounded like a romantic conversation.
Well, yeah, I guess so, given the content of their Hotmail. Yeah, that was good, right?
Now, the following day, investigators bring the Harpers in for questioning, and they notice right away that Scott has some injuries to his hand. When they ask him, like, what's happened? Why is your hand in a bandage? He says he hurt himself at the gym, that he dropped a weight on his hand. But his 3 fingers had been sliced open so badly that he needed stitches. So they find it very unlikely that a weight is going to cut through your hand like that.
No.
The couple's van was seized and combed over by law enforcement. They had a forensics team. His alibi was that he'd gone to the gym early Monday morning, and after injuring his hand, Scott drove to work and had it stitched up because, again, he works at the hospital. Now, not only did law enforcement suspect Scott, but Paige is now beginning to think that her husband was involved in Thad's murder. Paige confronted Scott about it, and he denied any involvement and acted insulted that his wife would make such an assumption. How dare you?
Now I have to go comfort Michelle.
Don't you know what kind of man I am?
Have you not been informed of my integrity and love for the Lord?
Hallelujah. Now, based on the information provided by this coworker, Scott Roberts, law enforcement was able to secure a search warrant for Scott's hospital computer. Lo and behold, Dylan, they find a treasure trove of sexy emails between Michelle Reynolds and Scott Harper.
God,
and these emails are incredibly explicit, but also feature, scripture.
I bet when they pulled those screens up, it just steam come out the side of the computer, dude.
Now, if that's not a motive, you can butter my ass and call me a biscuit, Dylan. By now, police are tracing Michelle's phone calls. When Scott is called in for like a second interview with police, he immediately phones Michelle. So police are able to see that they're in communication with each other. And after the second interview, he's like continuing to call Michelle. So now police are like, okay, this is all starting to make sense. Scott says he wants to confess to police, but the plan is, like, Scott will say, I just wanted to talk to Thad and things kind of went awry.
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Don't say that I sent you there to kill him. Just say that. That's what Michelle said.
Michelle asks him, like, will you wait until after the funeral? She had already purchased a funeral dress before Thad's murder, and she wanted an opportunity to wear this dress. So can you at least wait until I get to wear my cute dress?
What?
Yeah.
Who buys a cute dress for a funeral?
Michelle?
She's
like that woman that we discussed on a previous case that went shopping at the Cracker Barrel between the funeral and like the burial.
Yeah,
the
for like an
cemetery.
hour.
Yeah. She was like 2 hours late.
How do you even do that much shopping at a Cracker Barrel store?
I don't know.
I mean, what are you buying?
People love them fucking Cracker Barrel stores.
Like a glitter-filled snow globe and like the candy?
Yeah.
What do you
Sock monkey. Maybe like a hand towel
Hey,
that says something like boot scooting in the bathroom or something. I don't know.
when I was a kid, I thought only rich people shopped in a Cracker Barrel store.
Well, they probably do. That's probably only rich people.
Only rich people got to go into gift shop and buy whatever they wanted.
It's true.
That's true. And you go on a field trip or something, and it always end at the gift shop, you know?
Yeah. My parents were like, here's $1. If they have some saltwater taffy, you can get a box.
A fucking $1, bro. I've took $1 before.
Yeah.
Other kids got like fucking $50.
I never wanted anything from stupid gift shops.
Well, I didn't want it either, but you know,
'Cause I'm
maybe I
like-
wanted the opportunity to not want it with money in my pocket.
Like, what am I going to get? Like a pin that says, you've been to the zoo.
It's got like a sea turtle eraser on it.
What am I going to do? Like, write the orphanage? Like, please, someone take me away from my parents. Okay, so Scott can't handle the guilt any longer, and he admits everything to Paige, his wife. She advises her husband, like, you need to talk to a lawyer. I'm not the one. I don't need to hear all your secrets. When Scott speaks to an attorney, the advice he receives is this: check yourself into a mental hospital.
Ah, I see.
The attorney wants to set him up for a mental health defense, which they do actually try to go with at trial. He was on some medication, and they're going to claim that that made him manic, and he went to murder his friend.
Right. One of the side effects is
He's
stabbing your best
manic.
friend to death.
He's manic.
It's right there in the side effects, bro.
Yeah,
Consult
it's
with a
not like
pharmacist.
normal mania where you go spend a lot of money or something like that. You have to. Go
No,
murder
you don't just
somebody.
have an outburst at a family gathering. You just kill your best friend.
When Scott does confess to police, he never implicates Michelle. Yet police are already onto her, and they believe that she is involved in this murder plot. Investigators have seen those emails, like the super sexual stuff, along with Michelle providing details about her husband's whereabouts in the days before his murder.
Well, yeah.
She's giving a detailed schedule to Scott, like, you can follow him here, and then he'll have lunch at this place, and then he'll be here. Yeah. Investigators seize Michelle's computer, and at this point, they're treating her like a suspect. Now, at first, Thad's family doesn't really understand, like, why would you do this to a poor widow? She's a widow. She's grieving. She's lost her husband.
Everybody grieves differently.
Who are you, Erica Kirk? Now, until the news comes out that Michelle and Scott were having an affair, and then they're like, oh, okay, now we see. These emails show a pattern of manipulation. Michelle escalated with more and more hints, like urging Scott to take action. And without saying kill him, like she's saying everything but.
So the title of the last email she sent him was "Go kill my husband at 4 a.m."
I'm not saying you should kill him, but if you do,
But
he
if you
goes
do,
to work at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
There was an email sent from Michelle the night before the murder. She expressly says she has no regrets, no hesitations, and she also adds that she wants to be Scott's bride. How cute. On Scott's computer, investigators find searches for things like arsenic, poisoning, and how to commit the perfect murder. The eyeglasses, which were found at the crime scene, are a perfect match to the prescription used by Scott.
Well, yeah, but I mean, everybody might have the exact same eye deficiencies as Scott.
There's a mountain of evidence stacking up against this guy. They find security footage of him purchasing a hunting knife at Kmart.
And doing like stabbing motions and talking to them Kmart guy? Like, does this work?
Also, Scott Roberts, that meddling coworker, happened to find a stash of evidence hidden in a floor compartment in the IT server room.
Bro, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, the other Scott hated this Scott.
Yeah, I think so.
He totally was like, fuck this guy. I'm so glad he's going down. And he's not liked him for a very long time.
Yeah, well, he finds a receipt for the knife, bloody clothing, and the murder weapon itself. The blood on this clothing is a perfect match to both Scott and Thad.
Damn.
I mean, if there's an award for dumb criminals, Scott would pick up a trophy. I mean, you're really bad at murder, Scott.
Bro, you're in a hospital. Why didn't you just go throw that in one of those biohazard bins in the emergency room or something where they throw other bloody clothing and nobody would even thought twice?
Or just anywhere,
or
but
an
like
incinerator.
hanging on to it.
Yeah, I'm going to save that. I'm going to put this underneath my workstation.
I'm going to put it in my desk. He is arrested on July 8th of 2004, just 3 days after the murder. Scott is charged with felony murder, first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and aggravated battery. Michelle is also arrested as she departs from her attorney's office the same day. Thad's funeral is held on July 12th of 2004, and Michelle is in custody at the time, so she misses the chance to wear her beautiful burying dress.
I feel bad for her.
I've like often heard Southern women talk about they got a marrying and burying dress. It's like their one nice dress that they wear to weddings and funerals.
Oh, okay.
So Michelle didn't get to wear her burying dress.
I thought that was a designer.
It is, yeah.
Who are you wearing tonight? I'm wearing burying.
Marrying and burying. Michelle maintains her innocence. She says she has nothing to do with this murder and that Scott acted alone. Now, both Scott and Michelle are denied bail. The district attorney announced the office would seek the death penalty in both their cases. They continued carrying on this love affair behind bars through calls and letters. They discussed plans to run away together. They're going to go to Portland once they are found not guilty. It does seem that Michelle starts to worry more and more as time goes on. Now, initially, she seems super cocky, but begins to grow concerned that she might actually be found guilty. In some of the letters, it appears as though Michelle is trying to manipulate Scott, like reinforcing the idea that she only wanted Scott to like confront her husband and not kill him.
Oh, so she's basically trying to give herself an alibi through the letters.
Now, not only were those emails damning, but Thad had a $250,000 life insurance policy. Scott refused to implicate Michelle. His defense attorneys say he was using a medication that made him manic. He then killed Thad. It was because of the medication. And guess what medication it was?
Zoloft.
Viagra.
What?
It makes you a hardened murderer.
Wait, was it really Viagra?
Yeah.
Shut up. Did you come up with that? Makes you a hardened murderer?
Yes,
Wow.
of course I did.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. The dick that kills. Paige told Dateline in their interview that she begged her husband to tell the truth. Michelle had been culpable for the murder and that she was a mastermind. But Scott didn't need to take the fall for her. But he's refusing. He's like, I'm just going to say, leave Michelle out of this.
Meet you in Portland.
Scott, so like not only are you bad at murder, but you're like bad at being smart too. So he's just sticking by the, like, I'm not bringing Michelle into this.
Well, see, dumb. That's a great thing about dumb people. They don't realize they're dumb.
Scott takes a plea deal in exchange for a life sentence and death penalty off the table. So he takes this plea. Also, they had told Scott, like, you would have to testify at Michelle's trial, which he's refusing to do. But in 2008, when Michelle went to trial, Scott testified. Now, he confessed to everything, including how Michelle had been relieved when she learned that her husband was dead. But Scott admitted completely to the murder. He never says, yes, she was part of it.
Okay.
Or she asked me to do this.
He still loves her.
Yeah. Michelle was offered a deal on January 13th of 2010, even with evidence and testimony against her. The district attorney was worried that Michelle might walk free. So she pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter, and she was given 20 years in prison with credit for time served. She was also not allowed to see her children as part of this plea deal.
Man, they didn't even worry about these kids in all this mess.
No. Later, a court will say the children may choose to see her after they turn 18. Paige divorced Scott. She remarried and had children with her new husband. And they actually adopted their 3 daughters, like Scott and Paige had adopted their 3 daughters because Paige was having fertility issues. So it actually sounds like maybe Scott was it wasn't Paige, because she went on to have more kids. So maybe Scott was the problem.
Yeah, it sounds like Scott was the problem.
Thad's mother got custody of the Reynolds children, the 4 girls. Now, eventually, Scott and Michelle's relationship fizzles behind bars.
No.
You can only have so much love after lockup, during lockup.
Yeah, I was going to say this is love during lockup.
Michelle was released on July 7th of 2024, and I'm sure she's somewhere in the world right now manipulating someone.
My God.
Yes.
Wondering why everybody hates on her because
Scott
she's
is
so
still
awesome.
behind bars.
Man, that really worked out great.
Was
This
amazing.
poor man was brutally murdered. 2 families completely destroyed. 7 kids in the wind. Going through all this pain, all this trouble. A church heavily affected as well.
Yeah.
Traumatic for the church, as friends and all that.
Yeah,
There at the
church
church.
community is deeply
Very tight
affected.
community there. And for what?
So
Because you didn't think you'd get a second divorce from the guy.
So Scott and Michelle could bump uglies a few times.
You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know.
Then they went straight to jail. I mean, it's so stupid.
They're bad at crime.
God.
They're bad at being spouses too.
Yeah, they're not good husbands and wives.
God, can you only imagine if they'd gotten married to each other?
Well, maybe it would work out.
No, it would not. Let's be honest. It's never going to work out.
Hey, once a philanderer, you're always a philanderer. You get with someone and you're both cheating on your other, then, and it's funny because a lot of times those people have trust issues with each other.
Dude, they do.
I'm
I
like,
know this couple.
It's so true.
Look, I know this couple, and it's really funny. So the woman, her ex-husband is now remarried, and I knew his wife. And so the wife was spilling the tea on this woman. We'll call her Haley because that's actually her real name. She,
Stupid, dude.
she, got with this man who was married. They were having an affair. She was actually living with somebody else, and the day that this man left his wife, she kicked out the guy that was living with her, and then a couple hours later moved in this
New guy?
affair guy.
Damn.
So so then the affair guy, he had to go through a divorce and all that. They get married, and they have a kid together, but they're super jealous of each other. Her daughter, one of her daughters is older, is in college, and she wouldn't allow her husband to go with her to visit the daughter at college because there would be young women there
Oh, yeah.
that he might look at.
Right.
Yeah. And then they only vacationed at the beach in the winter, the fall and winter, so that he wouldn't be tempted to look at women in swimsuits.
Damn.
And that she wouldn't want to look at men
With the
at the
chest,
beach.
see
Yeah.
their naked bodies.
Yeah.
They're half naked.
So the ex, I know it's confusing. So the ex or the new wife of the ex-husband knows all this and was spilling all this tea about how dysfunctional this marriage is because they're both obsessed with each other cheating because they're both cheaters.
I bet they got the Facebook as both of them.
They do. They have the double Facebook. They
That's
do.
great,
They do.
dude. Oh, man.
They do.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. But
Well, that's what
anyway,
they get.
That's what they get.
You get to live like that after you cheated on somebody.
And I love to hear the tea.
Because
So
cheaters
tell me.
suck, and you're a bad person if you cheat. All right. Well, we carried on a little bit about how dumb they were, and maybe didn't spend enough time talking about poor Thad. He sounded like
he sounds like a really good dude.
Sound like a
right?
good man.
And a good man.
who tried his best for everyone. And I'm going to imagine he was a good guy to work with, work for, good friend. I'm
Good
sure
dad.
he tried to help so many people
he
there
really
at the church.
Went out of his way to
Yeah.
make sure he had time for his daughters.
Yeah.
Be part of their lives.
And for him to lose his life and betrayed by his wife and friend. God.
It's disgusting.
It is. It really is.
I hope Michelle goes to Gatlinburg and gets eaten by a bear.
I wish she had went to Gatlinburg when it was on fire, so she could have got burnt up.
I want her to go to Gatlinburg when there's a bear and all the tourists are like, trying to take pictures
In the bears'
with it.
faces.
Yeah, and I hope the bear mauls her.
The bears are so lazy, they won't even hurt anybody. Dude.
Hey, bear, maul this bitch.
They won't, bro. Those tourists will be like 2 feet from top. Take my picture. It's a bear. What the fuck is wrong with you? Be setting little kids up there biting shit.
Honey, they go to the
Yeah,
Smoky
I
Mountain.
know.
They go to the national park when the elk are rutting.
In rut.
And you got a big old male bugling, right, trying to get a female, and they'll walk right up to him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, take a picture of me with this elk. I mean, I've seen, like, a woman holding a baby. I've seen pregnant women walk up to them. These people are not smart.
It's not the people who mess with mooses. They're big as a van.
I've never seen a moose in person.
I've seen video of them in scale.
I've heard they're quite large.
Dude, like their freaking shoulder will be above your head.
Well, that's not hard, Dylan. Everybody's shoulder is
Well, you're
like
a bad example.
way above my head.
I mean,
I'm like a hobbit, so
properly tall person. They're huge. Look it up. They're huge.
I don't know how to look it up. You'll have to show
Just
me.
have to Googleize
You'll have
it.
to teach me.
All right, so thank you for that, Heather.
You're welcome.
And fuck Michelle and Scott, dude. For real.
Losers.
A loser, capital L. And we love our listeners. That's all I got.
Bye, Dylan.
Bye.
On Wiki Travel, the Pacific Northwest is best known for its beautiful coastline, green interior, rainy weather, and spectacular mountains. But because of all this, it's also the perfect place to go missing. My name's Carmita, and I grew up in the Pacific Northwest in Portland, Oregon. I host a podcast called Missing in the PNW. My podcast is different from others you may have heard because I focus specifically on two things. The first is that all of the missing person cases that I cover are strictly from the Pacific Northwest in Oregon and Washington. I know, the title of my podcast should have given that one away. The second thing is that my podcast focuses strictly on missing persons from marginalized communities, such as the Black, Hispanic, Native American and Indigenous people, and the LGBTQ plus communities. You know, the ones that get absolutely no media attention. Now, I am not an investigative journalist or a reporter. I'm actually a widowed mom of 3 who loves true crime and has a passion for social justice. So join me in helping to spread the word on these missing person cases and help be the voice for the ones that are now voiceless. You can find Missing in the PNW on all of the major streaming apps, as well as on socials at Missing in the PNW Podcast. If you have a case you want me to cover, please email me at missinginthepnw@gmail.com or send me a message through Facebook Messenger. I hope to talk to you soon. And remember, have fun, but be safe.